We are going into the very human spirit here at Ralston, trying to find what makes us so special. Are we just another animal? Are we something more? Is there something bigger than us? Something that connects us all? What about us humans makes us human?
I studied economics for my undergrad, so I didn't have any formal experience and exposure to the humanities.
I was an engineer before this, and I never really fit in. So it was this incredible dream that I had for so long.
People at Ralston are coming from extremely different backgrounds, extremely different systems of belief, and they're joined by a common love for the humanities, literature and philosophy, and for the pursuit of truth and beauty and excellence.
I was trained as a figurative painter. I felt like something was missing. That depth of knowledge about the human being that I could put into my painting.
When you look at great works of art, you look at great philosophy, you look at great literature, what you see is that it highlights what it means to be a human being.
Ralston College has transmitted the tradition of Western civilization to me and to my classmates, and many of us had never read these books before.
The first text that we read this year was The Odyssey by Homer.
Paradise Lost.
The Divine Comedy.
Kierkegaard's Fear and Trembling.
The volume that we were able to read this year and the intensity with which we got to discuss those texts this year in seminar was something different from my experience.
I think we've all changed a lot reading the texts. When you read them, you learn more about humanity and you learn about yourself.
Outos o anthropos, keto I, do outos si.
I came into the program with no knowledge of Greek, and in 1 year I've been able to get to a level in the language that astounds me, and I've seen that in all the other students here.
If I have to say like what I will forever be grateful to Ralston for the rest of my life, and owe it to them for the rest of my life, it's Greek. Language is the way in which you meet new thoughts and new ideas, and each one of those things that you meet, they transform you if you allow it to.
Kerusin, inei, akuontes.
Learning Greek, being able to access these thinkers in the language, there's something about it that gets into you.
Reading these stories in their original language changes them.
I've led a pretty independent and somewhat private life up until this point. Coming to Ralston and being involved in like a very, very tight-knit community, it's extremely different from anything I've done up until this point.
This program has been a lot about living in the ancient world. We spent a lot of time in Greece. We saw ancient theaters. It's not a theater school. We don't have a drama program or anything. But because the story fit in so well with the curriculum, it all came together and we put on a play.
Here I am, Dionysus, the son of Zeus, calling all Bacchae.
It was really amazing to see them go from never having acted to delivering these speeches.
Who is in the street right now? He needs to get out of the way.
Go inside.
Everyone needs to keep a pious mouth.
That means be quiet.
I've learned to engage with other people, relate to people in new ways.
You know, I really didn't think I was going to like anybody in this program, to tell you the honest to God truth. I have met the most incredibly humble, kind, genuine, fun, intelligent, ambitious people I've ever met in my entire life.
This isn't just an intellectual venture. This isn't just something we're trying to do to be smart and make a difference. It's how can I learn from you, no matter where you're from? What can I learn from you? What does it look like to sit with you and understand you? There are friends that I have met in this last year that will be friends until the day I die.
It completely altered me. Like, I'm not the same person I was when I came here.
If someone needs an extra set of eyes to look over an essay, you'll always have someone here for that. If you have a certain interpretation of a text that may not be what the majority of us think, that's okay. And we want to hear that. And it's this air of respect about what we're reading and respect for one another that makes this environment something that you can't get on your own.
It's amazing how when you're forced to kind of pressure test your own beliefs and opinions about things in community with other people, it exposes faults in your reasoning. It exposes potential weak areas in your thoughts.
There's been a lot of disagreement through the year. In fact, some of the visitors or the fellows who have come, I think, have had very different viewpoints. But the fact that then after the lecture we all can sit down to the college dinner together and share a meal, I think it's something that's well needed in the world.
I had tried to read Plato and Aristotle and Homer and tried to do the best I could with those books. But I knew that I was missing something. And so the reason I wanted to come to Ralston College was to see what I was missing, to find mentors and guides, people who'd inspire me and show me the things in these texts that I couldn't see for myself.
The things that we're learning here also provide more meaning for the things that happen in your own life. One big thing that changed for me that makes all of this work even more worth it is birth of my first son. Reading about the soul, about our own history, it brings you closer to other people. And holding that little person in my arms and looking at it, it's like all of these things are running through my head.
Florence in the Renaissance was populated somewhere between 60 and 90,000 people. So if genius is a function of population density, we've got a lot of cities that match that population size. If it's possible anywhere, why not Savannah now? I think Ralston could be a point that's bringing together a lot of those people that are driven in a similar direction so that we can achieve lasting cultural contributions.
Okay, Heraclitus says this, ilthos anthropi daimon, a man's character is his fate. So like what you do every day, it becomes who you are. It's how you shape who you are and what you become. Ralston is that foundation.
They want us to form the habits that are necessary to persevere. They're trying to bring out the best in us. I'm better equipped to go through life because of what I've learned at Ralston College. I'll take a lot of what I've learned here and try to apply that to teaching high schoolers. That's a blessing of the program right there.
Just, there's an enormous amount of gratitude that I have for everything. Not a day goes by that I don't think about how much it took for us to be able to do this.
This has pushed me mentally further than I've ever been. It's a great thing to know how far you can go.